Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Before you go anywhere, because I know there are some of you here that will be expecting this to be a real live stream of the actual draw. It's not, otherwise I'd be effed because of copyright reasons. But don't go anywhere, stay here, subscribe, smash the like button and everything. We'll tell you everything that happens, you know what I mean? And you can just have two tabs, open the UEFA website, watch the draw there, have our reaction here, everyone's happy. So do that, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am already joined by my good friend Clutch. Of course, we shall also be joined by Con very, very soon, I hope. And Pice and Charlie shall be joining us after the draw has actually happened. But it's big. Champions League quarter-final draw. We were talking about this the other day after we obviously qualified. That last year, this was huge for us because obviously then it was our first quarter-final draw that we were involved in as Chelsea in 7 years. Obviously now it's a little bit less hype simply because, we were there last year, but it's still hype. So, Clutch, how do you feel? Excited? Nervous? Because this could be anything, really.
It's a toss-up, really. I mean, over here, obviously, our football station is ESPN, or at least one of them, and they're giving us pretty much, they said 10% chance to win the whole thing again, which, you know what, I'm down for because we perform best when we're the underdogs. Still hoping for maybe Benfica or Villarreal. But, there is a little bit of nerves that kicks in. But I think in this style of competition, we can beat anybody over two legs. So, doesn't really matter. I'm hoping for the latter because I would rather have an easier route to the finals than having a harder one. But I guess whoever we get, as long as we have Reece James back, we'll be fine.
See, that's the confidence I like to hear. We have also been joined by our second very special guest. Con, thank you for joining us. You excited? Obviously, did I talk to you after Leo? If I'm honest, can't even quite remember. I think I did. So obviously we were talking about it then, and I just said it to Clutch. Like last year, we were hyped about this, like first quarter-final draw in 7 years. You still as hyped today, or is it a little bit different?
First of all, I just want to say I'm so tired, Laurenz.
You can refrain from talking unless when you have to talk. It's all good.
I'm excited, bro. I love Champions League, man. I just love everything about it. It's just like the big competition, It's the thing, like, even when I was like little, it's like the thing I love watching the most. I remember watching like the AC Milan and stuff like that. I just love this competition, bro. And I'm really excited to see who Chelsea are going to get next. Like, because a part of me wants like a Benfica or like a Villarreal, right? But then another part of me says, "Oh, give me a big game, give me a massive game to watch," So I'm excited, bro.
You want a massive game for Chelsea to be involved in, or is it just you want us to get an easy opponent? You want another huge draw?
Like, I want an easy opponent, but like there is a part of me is like I love the big Champions League games, So if we got a Bayern, I'd be like, oh crap, but I'll also be like, that's massive. Like, I'll be so excited, bro. You know me, I'm blindly positive at times. So
it is true. One last thing that I will ask you before I let you wake up a little bit more again. Myself, Pice and Clutch after the Lille game did a little almost like predicting the draw, and then be like, just Pice even wrote it down to see now today who got it wrong, who got it right, or whatever. So if I asked you to predict the 4 games that will be drawn this morning, what do you reckon? Obviously, you can see it on screen to help you.
Yeah, that is a big help with my mindset right now. With my mind, it's a bit foggy. I'm gonna go with Bayern, Villarreal, Chelsea, Atletico, Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Man City and Benfica.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I went Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Benfica, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Villarreal, Bayern. Clutch went Chelsea, Atletico, Liverpool, Bayern, Real Madrid, Benfica, and City, Villarreal. And Pice went City, Benfica, Liverpool, Atletico, Chelsea, Villarreal, and Bayern, Real Madrid. So that will be a bit mad. Whichever one it will be, it will be a bit crap. It will be a bit mad. Blake saying, is Pice at the draw event? He is currently watching the draw by himself, and then he will turn up once the draw is done. So you will get Piper's reaction. Do not worry about it. And everyone that's still here, by the way, we still have 290 people watching. If you're one of these people that still hopes that this is a real stream, again, sorry to disappoint you, can't do that, copyright and that, but don't go anywhere. Like I said earlier already, subscribe, smash the like button, do those things, really helps me out. We need to get way more likes. Like we have nearly 400 people right now, so we need at least 200 likes. So go down below, smash that. All right, smash that like button for me immediately, and let's do it. Something weird just happened here. What was happening? All right, YouTube has changed things when I press on add, but anyway, here we are. So what are we expecting now? Because obviously we're also playing Middlesbrough tomorrow. Towards the end of this, when we will, when we're done with the job, we will also do a little bit of a Newcastle preview, just because I was like, am I really going to do 2 streams today? Am I really going to bother my beautiful guests here twice in a day? And obviously some of them won't be available twice in a day. So then what do I do? So I decided, let's just do it all in one. This might be a bit of a long stream, but hey, we have time to kill. Why not? Obviously, these Donnies there, stood up there. Let me just put my earphone in so I can actually hear whether they're actually doing anything or starting or whatever. Just need to do this because I'm watching my PlayStation. I had to plug that in here. Sorry. And that doesn't quite work with Bluetooth, does it? But yeah, it's some big teams in here, but there's also some big teams that have already been knocked out. Obviously, PSG were knocked out by Real Madrid with an incredible second leg, really, to watch, if I'm honest. Manchester United, of course, been knocked out. Are they a big team? Debatable. In stature of club, sure. In reality, more of a mid-table club, but hey, here we are. And who else? Has anybody else big been knocked out, Clutch? I'm forgetting.
Who did you say? United, PSG?
That's it. That's all I said.
Ajax it's a surprise. I wouldn't say.
It was a surprise that they were knocked out by Benfica, and the same goes for Juventus. Yeah.
Yeah, Juventus gone. Something that recently, since I got into it with Barcelona fans last night, they were gone a round ago, but I can't stand Barcelona fans, man.
Who can? By the way, boys, once they actually start doing this whole thing, right? Whenever any of us sees the first name drawn, just say something so that we know who's first, right? And then we can always, or then we also know who's last, and then we can wait for that person to say something so they can see it, so we don't spoil it, at least each other. Do you know what I mean? So that would be quite positive. Yeah. Excuse me. What other people might not be aware of, by the way, this is not only the draw for the Champions League quarterfinal, this is actually also the draw for the Champions League semi-final, which makes today more exciting, I guess. But personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I think it would be, I love a good draw. Do you know what I mean? Especially if we're involved in it. It's so exciting. So it would be kind of sick to just do another draw for the semi-finals, but both will be drawn today. So every quarterfinal round, and then it will be drawn who each quarterfinal winner, which quarterfinal winner will play which quarterfinal winner in the semi-finals already. So we will know a lot. We could know our road to Paris, which obviously is where the Champions League final will take place after it was taken away from St. Petersburg for very obvious reasons. Andrew Morton in the chat says, we'll take out anyone. No problem. See, that's a big one. If I ask in terms of chances, just until things start, we have things to talk about. If I ask in terms of chances, I'll start with you again, Clutch. But how likely you'd find it? If you want, give it a percentage. Why not? If you want to go out there. If not, obviously, just word it around it. Against each individual team, why don't we go left to right? So say we got drawn against Atletico Madrid. What you think? It's pretty likely. Oh, the dude was spinning the balls for the first time, so I think it's happening. Are your streams already spinning anything?
No.
Con, have you got a stream?
They're kind of talking about being ready, though.
Yeah, I do have a stream up. I put it on YouTube. Wait, are they?
Okay,
so out now.
Okay, they've drawn us right now, so I will not shout anything until you say something. But we are the first team to be drawn, and we will now find out who we play immediately.
Okay, I just seen them say Chelsea. I literally just seen that.
Okay. Clutch, are you very far behind?
He's untwisting the ball now.
Okay.
I'm so scared.
We wait for Clutch to shout.
I thought it was 11:30.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't
Oh.
like that reaction, Laurenz. I don't like that
Oh.
reaction, bro.
Oh.
Oh no, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. No, no. Oh, give me Madrid again. Come on. What? I ain't scared of these guys, bro. I ain't scared of them. No way I'm scared of these, bro. What's Finney gonna do, bro?
I
Guy
just
can't
really
finish.
want to go, please. Does that mean we're home first or away first? I don't even know what that means.
Home first, I think, right?
Okay,
What
that
Real
gives us
Madrid?
more time
Run
to
it
sort
back.
out our owner issues so we can sell tickets for the away leg. Good. Have you seen the clutch, yeah? Chelsea against Real Madrid, if people haven't noticed.
Yep.
Very good. Chelsea have been drawn against Real Madrid out of all people. Obviously, our last year's semi-final opponents have been drawn. All right. Now Manchester City have been drawn. Now, what I don't know for sure right now is whether it will automatically be the first two that are on the same side of this, like the semi-final draw, or whether they will almost draw that again in like a second ball draw, because they have a semi-final pot over there as well. So they could do a separate draw for this. But anyway, Manchester City has been drawn so far. Because Chelsea's done that already, I will just shout the rest out because, you know, that's what we really care about, right? Just so I can keep the stream going and don't sit here and hope and wait until one of you says something. Oh, Man City has been drawn against Atletico Madrid. So will Atletico Madrid kick out the second Manchester team? That will be absolutely ginormous. Let me see if the Champions League account has already tweeted something so I can highlight this. No, it's not what I wanted. Go out of this. Champions League account, have you tweeted anything useful? No, apparently not. Cheers, boys. Like, well, why not? Like the draw is happening. Why have they not tweeted it yet? Like, what is this? But anyway, the next team that is drawn is Villarreal. Of course, one of the.
What should it be? Liverpool. What should be Liverpool, bro? It's got to be Liverpool. Watch. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Let's see. Because, I mean, Man City had a. I mean, is Atletico Madrid one of the toughest draws? Maybe, maybe not. It's a tough one to call, I guess. I didn't meant to click a like on that thing. But anyway, here we are. Let me highlight this one. Hopefully it's the right one that it's trying to highlight. I'll tell you right now who it is against Villarreal. Couldn't see.
I'm so glad
Bayern
that
Munich.
Thiago
As
Silva.
always, Bayern Munich getting the easiest draws you can
Munich.
possibly think of.
Yikes.
So Bayern Munich.
Who's left?
Liverpool versus Benfica.
That does mean Liverpool got Benfica. Them lucky pricks. So all of us were wrong. None of us were anywhere near. It is what it is. But yeah, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it a half a second ago, Chelsea were drawn against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Of course, now they're going to pull out Liverpool or Benfica out of the pot, but those are the only teams left. Benfica first. Presumably that means Benfica in the home leg first, but really does it because you prefer to be home second. So I don't know. Anyway, here we are. But in a second, they will also get to the semi-final draw. They will also then decide who will officially, which side of the draw, I guess, will be the official home team for a potential final, which is completely pointless. Like, you don't need to do a draw for that. Just tell me after. Like, I don't need to see you draw that. It doesn't matter, right? PSG isn't even in the competition anymore, so who gives a shit whether it's a away team or home team? We're playing Champions League final in Paris. Like, no one cares. That's always, to be fair, I forgot about this. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when we had the round of 16 draw, how they had to do the whole thing all over again? Because, you know, something was going on dodgy. So who knows? Maybe we'll be here again in an hour when they do the whole thing again. Could be. We'll never know. But now they're going to get to the semi-final draw thing. I do have this thing in my ear. Can't lie because I'm talking myself. Can't hear anything of what they're saying. But let me ask you, Con, Real Madrid, I mean, your initial reaction was bring them on. Is that what you think? Obviously, I presume you are one of these people that watched the second leg against PSG. I mean, PSG are very overhyped. They just have Mbappe. And good Messi and Neymar when they have the ball. When they don't have the ball, you don't want Messi and Neymar in your team. But Madrid beat them. And Benzema is very good. But otherwise, what do you think, Con?
Yeah, I did watch that PSG Real Madrid game. PSG fully bottled, bro. I don't think that's anything to do with how good Madrid are. As soon as Donnarumma made that mistake, they just capitulated, bro. They're like Tottenham, bro. When I see like a team just mentally so fragile, I've never seen one like that in my life. Their problem isn't quality, bro. It's the mentality of that team. It's horrible. I ain't scared of Real Madrid at all. Like for what's it, for 135 minutes of that tie, Real Madrid were easy second best.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt you. We have been drawn. Who's the second one? Oh, we are going to play the winner of City Atletico in the semi-finals if we get there. So we didn't even get an easy semis either. This is rigged just because they hate Real Madrid. Oh, my days. All right. Sorry, Con. I interrupted you about Real Madrid. Go on.
Yeah, bro. I'm not scared of him at all. Like Benzema, cool. He's an old guy, bro. Like Mendy, he owns this guy, bro. Mendy ain't scared of Benzema, bro. We should... Bro, I like the big games, and out of any of the top, the big teams in there, Real Madrid is the one I wanted. I think they're the easiest. I don't see Atletico as that big. Out of Madrid, City, Liverpool, Bayern, I would have took Real Madrid out of them all day, every day. It's a shame just who we've got after, if we can beat them. Because I'm scared of City this season, because we can't beat them, man.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, hey, there's always a first time, I guess, each season. I mean, last time we beat them 3 times in a row. Thankfully, this time we'll play them 4 times in a row, meaning we might lose the first leg. But if we win the second leg by enough, which is how apparently it goes against City, 3 in a row for one team, then 3 in a row for the other team, maybe. All right. Why is the sound on? Don't do that. Sorry. Anyway, clutch reaction. Chelsea against Real Madrid. Give us a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, Real Madrid isn't the team that they used to be. Obviously, if they get Mbappe this summer, it's going to be a little bit of a different conversation next year, but they don't have him this year. And Benzema and Vinny are on a good run of form. They're linking up quite well, but I don't think their defense is good enough. I don't really think so. Their midfield will play a part, but if Conte is the same Conte that he's always been, I don't really worry about their midfield. But we got Thiago Silva as well. If he stays fit, I think he'll put Benzema in his pocket, And like Con said, that the fact that PSG bottled that second leg after going up and then just, like he said, capitulated, it was real bad. Yeah, Benzema and Vinicius are elite. They are good players, but it's not like our team is so bad. I don't get why people just keep doubting us. It's not like we didn't win the Champions League last year with pretty much the same squad plus Lukaku. I think we have everything we need. We're starting to get in a good run of form. We're starting to understand what our best team is. We're starting to get our attackers into this run of form that we need them to be. So for me, Real Madrid is not going to be a difficult team this year. If we go out and we play how we normally do, especially if we use our 3-4-3 like we always do in the Champions League, I don't think they're going to score on us.
Okay. I mean, I would certainly say that Real Madrid are definitely a more serious threat than they were a year ago, or a bit less than a year ago when we played them in the semi-finals, for 2 reasons. Number one, they played in their training stadium compared to now playing in the Bernabeu. Whether that's, with Chelsea fans present or not is unfortunately a question we'll have to wait and see to get answered. But, hopefully, but at least they will have their own fans there. So that's already a big difference compared to last year. Of course, we will also have fans at Stamford Bridge, which we didn't do last year. But in terms of you saw the second leg against PSG. Like, for them, it also makes a difference. Sure, it also makes a difference for us, but especially if, as I presume we're the home team first, it is certainly a little bit of an advantage compared to if it was the other way around. That's certainly good. One other thing I'd say is I love Chalobah, but unless his form changes drastically by the time we play Real Madrid, I really hope Christensen's fit, because Chalobah has been getting spun by too many much worse wingers than Vinicius Jr. So I don't really want to be seeing that, if I'm honest. So I hope Christensen's fit. Or Chalobah's form improves drastically, then fine. And Reece James doesn't have a game like he did against Bayern Munich under Lampard. That would also be good. But otherwise, I kind of agree with what Clutch said. I mean, Alaba, obviously my fellow Austrian, is now basically their leader at the back. But he also plays striker at times. So just that fact in itself means there is spaces to exploit. We just need to be capable of exploiting them. And if we are as clinical as we have been the last couple of weeks, if we remain, or if we keep that clinical nature up until then, then I have absolutely no worries at all, to be honest. I say that. Absolutely no worries at all is probably the wrong word to say because it's Real Madrid. It's never going to be easy. It never, ever will be easy. But Connor, bring it back around to you. As you can see on screen, say we do beat Real Madrid. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, that'd be fun. It's going to be the winner of Man City Atletico. Do you expect that to be Man City, or do you think Atletico could actually knock out the other Manchester team too?
I expect it to be City, bro. I watched United versus Atletico both legs. I've caught a few Atletico games this season, bro, and they're just not at it, bro. They're not that great this season. That United versus Atletico second leg was embarrassing. I can't believe both teams were in Champions League, man. That game was poor. So I expect City, unless Pep does what he does best, bottle win the Champions League, I expect it to be City, bro, 100%.
Maybe like a Palace, you won't make a sub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
It's one of those. I mean, hey, if Palace can keep a clean sheet against Man City, who's to say Atletico Madrid can't? So, 2 clean sheets, then we get to penalty shootouts, and we know Man City's record in penalties. Well, in penalty shootouts, I think their record is actually good. But the amount of normal penalties they miss is a bit crazy. But then again, they're always like 4-0 up by the time they have one. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. Maybe not. Excuse me, struggling not to cough here. Clutch, though, sorry. What do you think? Man City, Atletico, who's he going to be?
Atletico are just one of those teams that can be annoying on their day. I shouldn't say a toss-up because it's not. Because City is still probably the best team in the world. I say that. Yeah, I'd probably say the best team in the world. But anybody on their day can come in and make them frustrated. I mean, Palace are not better than Atleti. I mean, maybe. It's like a 50-50, but it just depends. I do think City will go through, though. Like, I don't think they're going to have a problem, but Madrid can be annoying. They can be real pests when they want to be.
They can be. Obviously, we did beat Man City to the Champions League final last year. Now, number one, if we do get to the semi-finals and they do as well, they will want revenge. That's for sure. Finally, a useful tweet. Thank you, UEFA. They will want revenge. The one negative, if you want to call it that, is that Manchester City are, like Clutch said, probably the best team in the world and probably a bit better than us considering they beat us twice. Just 1-0, but they beat us twice this season in the Premier League, of course. And if you're playing a team that's better than you, it's always more difficult to beat them over 2 legs than it is over 1 leg. So say we do make it to the semi-final and say Man City to make it to the semi-final, how do you see us chances, Clutch?
I mean, the 2 times we played them this year, I think we came into it with the wrong idea. The first time we played with the 3 midfield, and that was just an absolute shocker of a performance. And then we tried to put Ziyech on the left and Pulisic on the right the second time, and that just didn't work at all either. So I think if we fix things around, and like I said earlier, like this system really works with Reece James. If we have Reece James going into these games, it's going to be a different outcome from what we had in the first place. I mean, Reece James is one of our key players in this formation. He creates, he causes problems. He's defensively sound. So for me, I think we have a chance. Without Chilwell, it's a little harder because you have to either use Saul or Alonso, and that's never ideal for a left wing back. But as long as we can attack from the other side and have a little bit more dynamic.
Still, honestly, sorry to interrupt you. I still would not be surprised at all if we have Reece fit if Aspie plays left wing back. I just wouldn't be surprised.
I'm okay with Aspie playing left wing back. I really am. Is he going to be better defensively than Saul and Alonso? Yeah. So why not? I mean, especially if the way we usually set up like that, because it's going to be a Kovacic on the left and probably Pulisic if he keeps his form up on the left as well. So I think those two on that side could cause some issues. Cancelo doesn't really like playing against Pulisic because he's said that before. But it all comes down to who we have available at that time. I think we do have that ability to beat City on our day, just like we did last year. So I do think they're a better team than us, but I think with our system, there's not too many teams that we can't beat, like even over 2 legs.
I back it, bro. Absolutely back it. Before I take it to Con with this question, let's take it back a couple of steps because obviously Pies did see the draw, but obviously we haven't gotten his reaction yet, and he has joined us. Pies, thank you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, subscribe and smash the like button. Pies, Real Madrid, it's a big one, eh? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big one. I was less confident, but I've just found out we actually play the second leg away. No, second leg first now. It's changed. We're at home.
Second leg first. How does that work?
No, I mean away leg. Away time.
And we play away first and home second.
Yeah, it's changed. So
that's good for football, bad for fans. But let's hope we have the owner stuff sorted out so we can buy tickets by the time we get to it.
Yeah, so that's good that we're away first. I think going back to Stamford Bridge is much better than being at home first. So yeah, look, I think Real Madrid's going to be a difficult game, but I mean, last year we did it. Vinicius is obviously their big threat with Benzema, but I've seen what we can do with our defense, and I definitely think our attack can get at them. I mean, PSG looked relatively comfortable throughout the game, even at the Bernabeu until that madness happened. So, I'm quietly confident against Real Madrid if we play well. The big one for me is obviously going to be Man City or Atletico in the semi. Now, if Atletico can get sort of, if they can even go like 2-1 behind, or, if it's not a big scoreline, I think going back to Atletico could be a very difficult game for Man City. So,
but if we play the second leg at home, wouldn't City also play the second leg at home because they were drawn first?
No, it's changed, Laurenz, because of something to do with Real Madrid. It's not to do with the other draws.
I get it, because Atletico and Real Madrid can't play on the same day.
I think so. I read Nizar did a tweet.
That, surely.
Nizar did a tweet, but yeah, I think Atletico are not fully ruled out, but I expect City to be in the semi. And obviously Liverpool got lucky. So yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest of draws for sure for us. Could have been a lot easier.
There you go. Yeah, I've just read the tweet by Nizar Kintella, just to explain it to people maybe better than myself and Pice could. Now, good news for Chelsea. Their tie with Real Madrid will be reversed. So, like Pice explained, we will play the second leg, the home leg second. So we will be at home in the second leg, to word it right. As both Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid can't play home in the first leg, basically, because obviously it's probably to do with like police stuff in the city of Madrid. That's probably what it's to do with. So they will now play away, then at home. The rule decided in favor of Atletico as Spanish champions. Unlucky Real Madrid, and very good for us. I mean, Ardi in the chat said he thinks it's better if you play the first leg at home. I firmly disagree with that, because in the second leg, you might have a result to catch up on. Big atmosphere helps you do that. Or you might have a result to defend. Big atmosphere will help you do that. So it's always better to be at home second, as long as we have supporters by then. Obviously, we will always have for Champions League, even the season ticket holders don't count. So hopefully, by the time we play the home leg, that is all. Hopefully, all of our ticket issues are sorted and a new owner is sorted and whatever else. So that shouldn't be the biggest problem. Charlie has also joined us, Pice, and also back to Connor. We'll get back to you later about who do you think will play and blah blah blah. Let me just quickly get Charlie's reaction to us actually being drawn against Real Madrid. What do you reckon, Charlie? Big one, eh?
Yeah, it's a big one. Obviously, a repeat of last year's semi-final. Obviously, got Carlo Ancelotti and Eden Hazard coming back to Stamford Bridge. This is a better Madrid side than I think the one we faced last year, for sure. I mean, Karim Benzema is in much better form. They've got Vinicius Junior firing. I think they look you can still get at them defensively, I think, but it's certainly going to be tougher than when we played them last season. But I don't know. I still fancy us to beat them over 2 legs. I really do. I think there's just something about Chelsea and this competition and Thomas Tuchel where things just seem to click. I know we're going to have to lose at some point, but I don't know. I do fancy us in this one. I really do. But we're going to have to be careful. Obviously, having a tie reversed does massively help us out. I agree with you. You want second leg when it's all to play for. A place in the Champions League semi-finals, having your home fans in, which hopefully by then, as you said, this not being able to sell tickets nonsense will be sorted out, and we can have a full house at Stamford Bridge to cheer us on. That could be the difference between, you know, seeing the job through and ultimately getting knocked out. But if we were to get through, then yeah, it's likely to be Man City. But as Pi said, you can't fully rule out Atletico Madrid, but you'd fancy Man City. And then in that one, I don't know. I know we beat them in the final, but over 2 legs is obviously going to be tough. But I don't know. So that's a long way away still. But yeah, the City semi-final potentially, I think, could be a big stumbling block. But I'm not too disappointed with Real Madrid. I'd rather have Real Madrid than, say, Bayern Munich or Liverpool, for example.
For sure. Well, I'm not sure about Bayern, especially now that Niklas Süle is out injured, who's their only acceptable centre-back this season. And even he's not that good, in my opinion. So I think they're certainly very beatable defensively. They have a big threat going forward. It's just when you play Real Madrid, you just got to outscore them. And I think we can outscore them with how good we are defensively. But hey, we're not going to... I mean, we theoretically could play Bayern Munich in the final, but that's a long way away. So let's worry about that at a different time. Pice, sorry, it did kind of interrupt you in terms of what you were talking about in terms of Man City and Atletico. You said it's probably more likely Man City. Say it is Man City. Well, how do you see a potential semi-final going if we make it there?
Oh, I mean, it's a tough one. It's 2 legs again, right? So, who would be at home in that leg first? Has that been? I can't even remember if that was announced.
The way this is written down here, I would expect City to be home first.
Yeah,
that's why they wrote it down like this.
Yeah, they got drawn out first. Yeah, so they'll be home first.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
we'll be home second.
Look, to be honest with you, we've only lost 1-0 twice. I know we've lost twice, but it was only 1-0 both games. And we didn't even play good in those 2 games. I mean, I remember the Etihad game. We was like, there were so many attacks where we could have played the through ball and we just messed up the attacks. And we had like Sarr, Alonso, Aspi, 3 who are not regular starters in our back 5, and we only conceded 1 that day. So, look, I'm always not confident against Man City because they are like, you know, they're the big guns. Like, but I don't know. Like, it's not impossible for us to beat them over 2 legs. You know, especially if we're at home second leg. I think we can do it. Same really in the final. You know, I'm not getting too ahead of myself, but Liverpool, Bayern Munich are both teams that you can get at all game. You know, so they've both got high lines. If they get through. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. If we lose to City, I mean, yeah, it could be like a City bloody Bayern or Liverpool final. That'd be crazy as well. But in terms of our chances, I think this will, you know, this will be the 2 hard games. Then in the final, I'd feel confident just because I think in finals we're really good usually, unless it's at Wembley.
And thankfully, it's not at Wembley. Yeah,
it's in Paris. So, like, if we get to the final, it's like, you know, it's kind of written in the stars, Tuchel, Silva, Paris, you know, so I'd have that more than anything, to be honest, as confidence.
I do agree. We'll get to what we think about the other side of the draw, I suppose, in a minute. Big fan of that comment by Jamie. Yeah, it's true. Lukaku did start both games against City, so who knows what we could do with Havertz. Last time, we started with Havertz up top against them. We won the Champions League. So, you know, from that perspective, certainly would make more sense, if you ask me. Con, haven't asked you in a minute, so just to finish it off, if Chelsea were to make it to the semi-final, I think I did ask you whether you think it's going to be City. So, do you give us a chance against Man City over 2 legs as well? I mean, obviously, you give us a chance, but do you think we could do that, or is that a really, really difficult one?
Of course, bro. City's going to be hard, you know. But we have Thomas Tuchel, bro, and that's why I'm confident against anyone in Champions League. We have the best manager in world football. We have the best manager for knockout ties in world football. You know, look at his Champions League record, bro. It speaks for itself. He's never his latest record against like Real Madrid as well is really good. Against Man City, we can do a job. Like Pi said, against City both times this season, we were bad and we only lost 1-0. Like the first game, we was really bad and we lost a deflected goal. You know, it's one of the worst I've seen us play under Tuchel. So if we can just play a little bit better, bro, we can easily beat them, you know? Especially without Lukaku in the team. Obviously, you can't just say, oh, yeah, extremely confident we can beat them, because they're one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best team in Europe. But if anyone can knock them out of the Champions League, it'll be Thomas Tuchel, bro. This guy is a magician when it comes to this competition, bro.
Or you never know. It could be Atletico kicking them out before we ever get the chance.
If that happens, bro, I'd love that. I'm not complaining at all.
No, me neither. Although Atletico Madrid would also be a rough one to play in the semi-final. Just because I feel like the further you get in a competition, the tougher Atletico Madrid are to beat. That's what I feel like. I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but that's the vibe I get. But Clutch, let me take it back to you. The other side of the draw. Obviously, these two certainly got the easier opponents in terms of quarterfinal oppositions in Liverpool against Benfica and Bayern Munich against Villarreal. How do you expect those going? No upsets there. A semi-final of Liverpool against Bayern, I presume.
Like you said, Bayern's defense is something to be questioned, but their offense, it speaks for itself. I mean, Lewandowski is one of the top strikers in world football. Gnabry is also very, very good. Thomas Muller is very underrated, in my opinion, from a lot of people. I think he's very good, especially in the Champions League. Isn't he like one of the youngest scorers in the Champions League or something like that? He has a lot of goals or something.
Potentially, but he's certainly very good. Well, I mean, he's certainly not as good at football as a lot of other players are, but he just has this. It's a bit like if people remember like Filippo Inzaghi or just players like that. Maybe like Teddy Sheringham is a better English example. Like they just know where to be and when to be there. Obviously, Thomas Müller less so as a real striker compared to Inzaghi and Sheringham, of course. But still, he just knows when to be where. He doesn't always have the greatest touch. He doesn't always have the greatest shot or pass. But somehow, he still got 20-plus assists last season and scores, stupendous amount of goals. The guy won Golden Boot in the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So, no, I definitely agree. Go on, Clutch.
Yeah. So I don't really see an upset. I mean, if there's going to be an upset, it would be Villarreal, but I don't see it happening.
There you go. And the other leg as well? The other
Liverpool is probably going to wipe Benfica, but I do think Liverpool are a good team. Actually, did TAA just go out for the rest of the season with the hamstring?
Who?
Arnold. I think he just went out with that.
It's a few weeks. It's about 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, I think he just went out.
That would still miss the first leg, though, to be fair. But even then, unlikely, in my opinion, that.
Benfica are not getting anything against Liverpool. No, let's be serious.
I mean, they were even like under the cosh for 180 minutes essentially against Ajax. God knows how Ajax failed to beat them, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But hey, here we are. Price, let me take it back to you. The other side of the draw, certainly less up in the air, I would say, in terms of who will face each other in that semi-final, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's going to be a tough game, to be fair. Man City and Atletico as well. I don't know, like if City score, obviously, like if it's like 3-1 City, I think that's too much. But if it's like, because I think City will win. But if it's like 2-1 or 1-1, something like that, I think Atletico could cause an upset because they're a very good team, especially at home, and they're home second leg, so be interesting.
There you go. And about Benfica, Liverpool, and Villarreal, Bayern.
Bayern will win, definitely. They're at home second leg as well.
As are Liverpool, to be fair.
Yeah, Liverpool, Bayern, 100% for me is the semi-final there.
And if I already jump ahead a little bit, go on. Sorry, what?
No, yeah, I was just saying it's too hard to predict at the moment because, funny enough, our side is the tough side, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, we had maybe last year we had the slightly easier one because obviously we had to do it the hard
way this year.
Yeah, exactly. Whether that's a conspiracy, whether that's tough luck, who knows? But if we take another step further, Pice, before I take it to Charlie, between Liverpool and Bayern, who do you think will win that? Obviously, injuries could happen. Obviously, form can change drastically from now to then. But in terms of what you expect, who do you think will make that final? Pice, sorry, I'm still with you. I just thought I'd stick with it. Sorry.
Oh, what? Sorry, I thought you was talking to Charlie. What did you say?
No. I thought I was going to take it to Charlie after you and ask you this first. My bad. Go on.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Between Liverpool and Bayern.
Oh, fuck. I think Liverpool will win, I generally do. I think Liverpool will win that. They beat Bayern a couple of years ago, and I just think I don't know. Actually, it's a hard one. It's a very hard one because both teams can get at each other, but I think Liverpool will win. I don't know why. I just feel like Liverpool will win. I think they've got that X factor in attack, and I think, yeah, I just think they'll do it. It'll be close, but I think they'll do it.
I do actually, unfortunately, agree. And no fantasy PJ at all. I read them out at the start, by the way, Pice, before the draw actually started. I read our predictions out as I asked Con for his, and we were all very wrong. So no, none of us are oracles, but hey, here we are. To me, this other semi-final is like the worst semi-final it could be because Liverpool and Bayern Munich are probably are up there with the two teams I hate the most, or I really dislike and don't want to win anything the most. Obviously there's Spurs, but I know Spurs were in the Champions League final not that long ago, but that happened once and will probably never happen again. So Spurs are on top of that list, but Spurs are never nowhere to be seen, right? So after Spurs, Liverpool and Bayern are very, very far up the top on this list. So if we get to the final, amazing. But it will also be even more nerve-wracking because losing to either of them will hurt even more. As crazy as that might sound. Charlie, let me take it to you now. What do you think about that other side of the tie? Benfica, Liverpool, Villarreal, Bayern. Very simple that. Probably. And if you do expect the favourites to go through there, who do you think then makes the final?
I mean, I think obviously Liverpool Benfica is a nailed on Liverpool pretty much. I think it's close to a guarantee as you can get in football. I'd be shocked if Benfica got anything at all. They even scored, to be honest, in this game. The other one, Villarreal Bayern, I think, I wouldn't completely discount Villarreal. I mean, I know they beat Juventus convincingly. I know Juventus have been out in the last 16 for the last 3 years, but they're half decent. I know they're not playing that well at the moment, but to beat them 4-1 over 2 legs as a team that finished 6th in La Liga last year, it's not bad, to be fair. And I think Unai Emery's doing a good job there. I think he's disrespected as a manager. I think he's got very good European pedigree. He's won a lot of Europa Leagues, and to get to a Champions League quarterfinal with Villarreal is quite some achievement. So I wouldn't rule them out entirely, but you would fully expect Bayern to go through, particularly now that there's obviously no away goals as well. I think that obviously makes it harder for the less fancied sides as such. So I'd expect Bayern to go through. And then Bayern, Liverpool. I mean, obviously, I don't really have any affiliation to Bayern. I'm not really that arsed if they win stuff or not. But Liverpool, nothing worse than Liverpool winning stuff. It's just unbearable. It really is. So if I had to, pick one that I'd like, I'd obviously rather Bayern win than Liverpool. But to be honest, I agree with what Pi said earlier. The fact that Liverpool beat them a couple of seasons ago, I wouldn't rule that out happening again. I just think
was that without fans or was that still with fans when they beat them?
I can't remember. It was
I just remember Mane scoring an unreal chip at the Allianz.
So it's 3 years ago. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool are probably better than they were then, and I don't know if this Bayern side's any better or not. But yeah, I mean, it'll be a very interesting matchup. But I just think defensively, obviously, you can get at both sides. It just depends what attack's better. I'd probably say collectively, Liverpool's attack is probably better. But then when you've got Lewandowski in the sort of form he's in, he only needs a couple of opportunities, and he just scores goals for fun. So that's a really tough one to call. But I'd probably just give it to Liverpool. But again, it depends if it gets to that point. What's happening in a title race? Are they still banging that? Have they got FA Cup semi-finals?
Very good point from you. Very good point
to play as well. So obviously, just looking at it now, you probably just fancy Liverpool, but it depends what they've got. Obviously, Bayern aren't in the German Cup. There's obviously only one domestic cup in, obviously, Germany. So they've only got league fixtures and this Champions League to worry about.
And they're out of the cup already as well. So
yeah. So I mean, that could play a part as well. Depends what the situation is, title race, FA Cup, etc. for Liverpool. But yeah, I'd expect Liverpool, Bayern. I'll probably just shade it Liverpool, but I wouldn't rule Bayern out either, just because of the Lewandowski factor.
There you go. See, that's a tough one because, like you said there, for me, it's not necessarily about the difference in attack, really, because I would say that's very even in terms of both attacks. I just think Liverpool's defense is quite a bit better than Bayern's, both can be beaten defensively for sure. Like Pice keeps saying, Liverpool play such a high line. If you beat it, you can beat it. You just need to have the balls to properly try and then be clinical. But I just think Liverpool's defense is still better than Bayern, which is why I think, unfortunately, it will be Liverpool. And from your perspective, totally understand that you would rather Bayern than Liverpool as an Englishman. But obviously, I live 2 hours from Munich, and I know way too many Bayern Munich fans, and I hate the living shit out of them, basically. So leave me alone with them, lot. So yeah, and also, again, me robbed of going to a 2 hours away bloody Champions League game. The one time we played them, it was without flipping fans. Do you know what I mean? But Con, haven't spoken to you in a minute. I thought I'd give you a little bit more time to wake up properly. That other side of the draw, simple question, really, or same question as I asked to the boys before. Liverpool and Bayern in the semi-final is what you expect, yeah?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I expect Bayern Liverpool semi. I really hope it happens because as a neutral, it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. Klopp sets up like a Bundesliga side, and I think that plays into Bayern's hands a little bit. Yeah, so I'll be interested. I'd like to see if Klopp actually sort of tweaks how he plays a little bit, because you can't play like that against Bayern. If that's one team you don't play like that against, it's Bayern, because they will go toe to toe and they'll outscore you. I'm confident Bayern outscore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm confident Bayern would outscore Liverpool playing the way they do. I just am, because I've seen Liverpool this season, and even games against Palace where they won like 3-1. Bro, they could have conceded so many goals that game, and that's like Palace. Imagine Bayern, bro. They're very lethal, so like for a neutral, that's going to be a fantastic game. We could have two English teams in the final again, bro. It could happen, whether it's us, City, Liverpool. It looks like there could be two English teams. It's great, isn't it?
I mean, obviously, I'm not English, so I don't really care about that much. But from your perspective, yeah, no, for sure. RD put in the chat here, Roman's first Champions League versus Bayern, his last Champions League versus Bayern. Well, Roman won't be here anymore by the time we play a Champions League final. If he is, then we're in serious trouble until then, because we have no money to spend until May, I presume. And yeah, but that is what it is. Have I asked all of your thoughts? Clutch, did I ask you about your thoughts about the other semi-final? I cannot remember.
Yes, yeah, you started with me.
And did I also ask you between Liverpool and Bayern?
No, but I'd probably say Liverpool. Yeah, I think Liverpool.
There you go. It's a tough one. I mean, yeah, I'll just take it back one last time. Chelsea, Real Madrid. Obviously, if people have tuned in late, we will play the first leg at the Bernabeu and the second leg at Stamford Bridge, even though it is obviously written down the other way around. But the reason it was switched around is because Atletico and Real Madrid can't play at home on the same day, or potentially even the same midweek, which I would find a bit strange. Why? I guess we would play the Tuesday games and they will play the Wednesday games. The only part of that I find very annoying is that, obviously on the day we play, I will watch Chelsea, Real Madrid. And then on the day we don't play, it's Benfica, Liverpool, and Villarreal, Bayern. Who gives a shit? So that's a bit boring. But hey, that's why we'll switch around and we will play the second leg at home, which is certainly an advantage to us. A minor advantage maybe, but an advantage nonetheless. I haven't actually informed Charlie about this. I'm not sure if I've informed Pice about this, kind of. But I have decided to, rather than doing a second stream in like 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, we'll just include a bit of a Newcastle preview towards the end of the end. Not Newcastle, that's who we played last weekend. Middlesbrough, who we obviously play in the FA Cup quarterfinals this weekend. Quarterfinals left, right, and centre. Quarterfinal draw here. Quarterfinal in the FA Cup coming up on the weekend. It has been confirmed by Thomas Tuchel in the press conference that was going on, or potentially still is going on. That we are travelling to Middlesbrough by plane. Jorginho said in some Sky Sports interview, no idea where that Sky Sports interview has come from. But anyway, that the players will pay for travel if necessary. I'm not sure if that's how we're making it possible to go by plane. But Thomas Tuchel said we're going by plane. So that's good, because it's long by coach, 6 hours. But then again, why couldn't we have just taken a train? That's a bit better than a coach still. But hey, here we are. If they can, the players have enough money to pay for a flight. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. All of us, when we go on holiday, we have to pay ourselves. So I'm sure the players can pay for a little flight to Middlesbrough. But I still appreciate them for it. Let's not throw it under the cush, because there's been plenty of players that didn't want to help out their club financially in the past. Not at Chelsea, that's not what I'm saying, but in the past. It has certainly happened. Is there anything any of you still want to say about the Champions League? I think we covered everything, didn't we? Pice, let me ask you. first we did cover everything, and otherwise, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we covered everything. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Actually, I know. Obviously, that we don't have fans, do we, tomorrow? So,
Actually, let me ask you: do we have no fans?
I think we have no fans.
Because we did already sell tickets before the thing happened. So,
Okay,
did those tickets become invalid now?
No,
are those people still allowed to go?
It's basically the tickets went on sale to like the away scheme. So like people on the away scheme, they could already buy the tickets. So that some have sold, but it's gonna, I don't know.
Yeah, but are those people now allowed to go?
Yeah, because that's valid from before the restrictions come in, so they can go. But I mean, it was meant to be. It was meant to be 5,000, but I mean, it's going to be way less than that because the allocation was 5,000. It's going to be a few hundred, probably. Lucky if we get 1,000 in the away end.
Yeah, I thought I've read that it was going to be like 800 and something, which, I mean, Middlesbrough are going to make it a very difficult game. Their crowd's going to be crazy. So, yeah, we can't put out too weak of a team, to be honest. And, you know, people forgetting, like, it might be Middlesbrough. They're not in the Premier League, but this is to go to the semi-final of the FA Cup.
And they also knocked out Spurs and Man United.
Yeah. So we need to win this tomorrow. Like semi-finals, you know, going to be at Wembley, which is great, but at least it's not a final. But yeah, I mean, we need to get to the semis. The FA Cup's something that we can win this year. You know, we lost to the bloody Carabao Cup, so we need to win the FA Cup.
Also, for Dubois' thread to happen, we need to get to the FA Cup final, lose it to win the Champions League final.
True, which is not great, but it's actually kind of realistic when you think about it because we can't win at Wembley in the finals. And in the FA Cup, you know, we lost to fucking Arsenal, and then who else did we lose to lately in the FA Cup finals? We got there before, didn't we? Leicester, that's it. Yeah, Leicester and Arsenal. So
flipping Leicester.
Yeah, we've not got a good record. I'm not gonna lie, but I want one in the FA Cup this season. I really want it. I value it way highly more than the Carabao, for sure.
Yeah, I think we all do. Although, I will say, I mean, I have been to an FA Cup final because it's in the middle of the day, right, on that Sunday when it's always played, and it's like warm. It doesn't feel like final atmosphere. I don't know, because it's in the middle of the day. Play it in the evening. It makes it feel much more serious. Like, for me personally, maybe that's just my opinion, but play finals in the evening. Don't play them in the afternoon, in my opinion. I know history, and you know that's why they do it in the afternoon, because people have time there. People can watch TV Sunday afternoon. I get it. It's just my personal preference, right? I will actually get to that question from yours, Fantasy PJ, a little bit later. Let me just get through to the thoughts of the boys about things. I mean, Charlie, you already jumped in there in terms of a few things about Middlesbrough. So on that note, what are you feeling ahead of tomorrow? Obviously, there was a little bit of drama going on between ourselves and Middlesbrough. Obviously, with Chelsea having a bit of a stinker initially requesting the game to be played behind closed doors. Completely without any sort of warrant, right? It's ridiculous that we asked for this, in my opinion. But I will also say, and like a lot of us Chelsea fans kind of defended, or not defended, but even went against Chelsea more on Newcastle. Why do I keep saying Newcastle? Middlesbrough side, because like, well, yeah, we were sanctioned, and yeah, our fans shouldn't be punished for that, but Middlesbrough fans certainly shouldn't be, punished for that. But the reaction from Middlesbrough after, it was like, Chelsea and the integrity of football or integrity of sport should be used in the same way. I'm like, who the hell do you think you are? Excuse yourself, get in the bin. Like, no, I want to smack these lot. You know what I mean? Like, I was siding with them, I was like, no, let's not punish their fans. And then what do I read? Them having a little dig at us. I mean, not sure whether I agree or disagree with that statement on Bruce Buck, but all right, leave us out of it, you little shit. But anyway, Charlie, that kind of statement from their side also spurred you on a little bit more.
100%. Obviously, as you said, the statement, the request to postpone the game was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Tuchel saying that it was nothing to do with the players or himself. They weren't consulted on it. I don't know where it's come from. I imagine it's probably done in an attempt to try and put some pressure on the government to, try and get this ticket thing sorted. But yeah, in terms of PR own goals, it was, it wasn't a good one. And I'm glad that, it's been retracted, etc. But it's obviously going to be a disadvantage for us. It's away games are hard anyway. I mean, you've got hardly any fans there at all. With Middlesbrough, who will be bang up for it. As I said, they've knocked out United and Spurs in consecutive rounds. This is a chance for them to get to Wembley. Middlesbrough never get to Wembley. This is a massive, massive opportunity for them. They're going to be bang up for it. And this is going to be a really tough one. We've managed to get to the quarterfinals and not face a single Premier League side, but this will be one of the toughest of the lot. In regards to Steve Gibson, I think his name, the chairman, his statement, it's a little bit ironic from him because he almost tried to put Derby County out of business. So he needs to be careful with what he's saying. So, it spurs you on a little bit more when you hear things like that from the chairman. It makes you think, you know what, I want to smash these and put this shit club out the cup. You know, that's what you want to do. I feel confident. I always feel confident with Chelsea in cup competitions, but this for me is really important because you look back at despite all the trophies we've won, and it's fantastic, and we love winning them, Champions League, Club World Cup, Super Cup, all those sort of things. The fact of the matter is, domestically, last 4 finals lost. You know, we don't like to look back on that. Lost our last 4 domestic finals. No domestic trophy since 2018. You know, domestically, which is where you want to be judged. Yes, the European trophies are great, but the domestic stuff is, you know, it's every year. It's what you want to be dominant domestically. We've won nothing since 2018. 1 FA Cup in the last 4 or 5 years. This is really important. You know, we need to win this FA Cup, and the last 2 finals we lost as well, which makes it even more difficult. But yeah, for me, Chelsea need domestic success, and it's been missing. So this is really important.
Exactly. Well, I have also recently learned, obviously I'm not that old, I don't remember the year, but was it the 70s, was it the 80s? At some point, Chelsea lost a playoff game to Middlesbrough, and then Middlesbrough got promoted and we didn't, back when we was in the 2nd division of English football. So that's apparently a reason why some older Chelsea fans already hate Middlesbrough. So now we can all hate them together. Isn't that fun? Con, what do you expect? Middlesbrough tomorrow? Not too much rotation, I would hope. It's a quarter-final, so let's take it seriously, especially with an international break straight after that anyway. But big game for you, even though it's a lower league opposition?
It's a quarter-final, bro, so it's going to be like a big game. But, like, they're a nothing club, and the chairman can stop talking, man. I don't know why he's waffling so much, bro. Nobody wants to hear this old guy talk, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I think what we did was a bit out of order, but then again, I think it was more of just to try to put pressure on than actually do that. And then again, like, why shouldn't Chelsea do something like that? Why are our fans not really allowed to go? Like, I'm fed up with, like, these smaller teams who are not in the Premier League, who always cry and think they're more football fans because they don't support, like, a super club. Like, no, football's, like, it's for the fans, man, and we're not allowed to go. So, of course, our club wanted to do something about that, you know? So, shut up to the chairman, man. Idiot. And I don't expect too much rotation.
Asked for their fans not to be allowed to go either, which was a bit.
Yeah, good. Like, why should our fans be punished because of something that's out of our control? We're being punished, and it's annoying. Like, Middlesbrough, bro.
I agree.
I don't care about their fans or the chairman. Wankers, man. They're just salty because, you know, a certain England manager got them relegated, bro, and they missed out all the PL money before it came about, you know. But yeah, bro, I don't expect too much rotation. I'd like to absolutely smoke these. And the fact that we ain't going to have many fans there, I think we need a strong side, you know, because the atmosphere there is going to be rocking. They've already knocked out 2 Premier League clubs on the way to be here. So their confidence is going to be sky high. It's going to feel like a Prem game. I think they're going to bring a little bit of quality to the table. But, you know, we're a much better team. We're not Tottenham. We're not Manchester United. We're Chelsea Football Club. So I expect us to get the job done.
There you go. I agree. Pice just put in the private chat here that Real Madrid are apparently arguing that they will play the second leg at home. Now, in general, I might be worried about that, but after the whole Super League drama, I don't think UEFA is giving Real Madrid anything. So I wouldn't be too worried about that because the UEFA rules are the UEFA rules, and there's nothing Real Madrid can do about it, so they can do one. But, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but just because of Spanish also saying the second leg is at the Bernabeu, by the way. Yeah, exactly what Pice just said. Yeah, like I said, the UEFA, you know, decided that. So unless Real Madrid get a special permission from Spanish police, presumably, which is probably what stops it, them playing on the same day at home in Madrid. I mean, I guess maybe that could happen. But if that could happen, why would it be? Why would it ever be a rule in the first place? Do you know what I mean? So I doubt it. Well, Fantasy PJ Jordan, the second leg should initially have been at the Bernabeu from how the draw went. But because Atletico should have been the same, and they won the Spanish league, which is why they get prioritization, or they get priority over Real Madrid, who didn't win the league. That's why they got picked to have the home leg second. But anyway, Clutch, finish it off for us in terms of quickly chatting about Middlesbrough before we get to a potential team that we'd like to see. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, they have knocked out United, but that's not really a feat within itself at this stage. They're kind of a shambles squad. Um, no, I think this is important for Chelsea, the fans, the team. I think you got to go out there and you got to give everything you can for this competition, because winning it is going to be one of the more important things for the rest of our season. Obviously, making top four in Champions League still very high on our list, but I think that, like Charlie said, the domestic cup needs to be something we really need to go and focus, because I mean it would mean so much more after all the adversity that we have to deal with for this season, whether it be sanctions, all these things that are currently happening in the Chelsea sphere. I think it's very important that we go out there and we go and make this happen. And the fact that the guy is, after we did have a stinker, like you said, with the old trying to get it played behind closed doors, but at the same time, it was unnecessary for the guy to come out there and say what he said. So, just go out there and teach him what money can do, I guess. We got Havertz, 72 million. Just go out there and use him.
Go out there and use him, yeah. Very good. Very, very good. Just want to touch on something. Now I lost it. Quick question, just because Fantasy PGA Tour asked it, and I thought, why not highlight it and ask you boys as well. I'll start with you, Con. I'd rather City win the league over Liverpool, but I'd rather Liverpool win the Champions League over City. And he asked whether we agree with that.
No. No, I don't want Liverpool winning anything, bro. I don't even want these guys winning a Community Shield, let alone a Champions League trophy, bro. Nah. Don't get me wrong, it'd be annoying for City to win their first Champions League. But then again, who really cares? Like, City could
Especially
win.
now that we have two.
Yeah, bro, no, I don't care about what City win, and no, a United fan doesn't really care. A Liverpool fan doesn't really care, bro. We say we want City to win these things when we can't, bro. What does that say about City, bro? I don't care what City win, man. I don't want Liverpool winning it. No way, bro.
Matisse, who for some reason hates Man City.
Bro, can you imagine it? Like, if Liverpool win the Champions League and all the scousers in Liverpool stabbing each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's that about, bro? Even when they're, like, celebrating, bro, they're still mad. Psycho. I hate Scousers and I hate Liverpool, but I just hate the area. I hate the team. I hate the manager. I just don't like that club. I really despise that club, bro. Can you imagine their fans as well? Oh, we just won the Champions League. Like, shut up, man. I can't be asked.
And also, I can't even just thinking about Jamie Carragher in that situation. I want to rip my eyes, ears.
Oh, could you be saying it, bro? Like, it'd be like, oh, this is the best Premier League team we've ever seen. Like, even though they didn't win the Premier League, like, it'd still be saying.
They won the Premier League once, and they're talking about being the best Premier League team. City
won in 30 years, bro. Yeah,
you're stupid.
That's why I hate Liverpool fans, bro, because every player in their position is the best in the world, but they've won one Premier League in 30 years. Yeah, fairs. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, don't it? Bro, no, just no, bro, just no. And just in case you didn't catch it the first time, no, definitely no. But Liverpool win the Champions League, bro.
Fair dues. Charlie, same question to you. Do you agree with Fantasy PGA Tour, or do you agree with Con?
I mean, I definitely agree with the fact that I'd rather City win the league than Liverpool, because as Con said, no one seems to be that bothered about when City win stuff. It's kind of almost just an expectation. But with Liverpool winning stuff, it's fan base unbearable. Media coverage is unbearable. You then get I'm seeing that Liverpool team that won the league, they're suddenly like being in discussions of being the best Premier League team of all time. It's like, you won one Premier League. And that team suddenly being put against treble winning 99 side, and then Arsenal Invincibles and all that. And then you look at the list and it's like Chelsea 04-05 is not even in there, or like the season after, like not even in the list. They're putting like Liverpool team in that's won one league in 30 years is suddenly like in Premier League all-time greatest team lists. It's honestly, it's embarrassing, and the fans unbearable. I mean, just like being at the last final at Wembley, walking back down Wembley Way, hearing "You'll Never Walk Alone" in the stadium with the arch lit up in red. But I never want to see that shit again. Never. It's the worst feeling ever. So I'd agree City over the league, but I don't want Liverpool to win anything. City can have their one Champions League if they get it. I'm not really that bothered. But Liverpool, I just can't have them winning anything because it's just unbearable.
I completely agree, mate. Absolutely agree. Pice, same question. I feel like let's see about Clutch, but I feel like you're going to agree as well.
I mean, I'm kind of with Con, to be honest. I just hate Liverpool. I don't want them to win anything. I can't stand them. Can't stand their fans. Basically, what content, to be honest. If City win the league, it's like if City win anything, it's like they're just so dominant by now. Like I don't really care, to be honest. Like I don't know any City fans. They'll overtake us, I think, but who cares? City are just. I don't know, Pep tax in it. Like all their success is because of Pep. So if they win the Champions League, then again,
if anything, you could maybe argue it's a good thing if City at some point win the Champions League, because once Pep's won the Champions League, he won't stay much longer, I think. And just as soon as Pep's gone, they're in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, they got such a fantastic team that whoever takes over when Pep leaves is sorted anyway.
It is true. But still, very few managers, especially now that Tuchel and Klopp are, signed up elsewhere. Are they going to get anyone that's as good? Doubt it. It's still good, but not as good.
Yeah, I agree. Don't want Liverpool to win the Champions League or anything. To be honest, I'd much rather City. And it's funny that Man United fans think the same, by the way. They hate Liverpool more than their closest rivals, so that tells you everything.
Yeah, although to be fair, they have at least the long-lasting rivalry with Liverpool, because Man City basically didn't exist before. Unlike us, by the way, people always make this comparison between us and Man City. And excuse yourself, the season before Man City got bought, they were losing 7-0 to Birmingham or some shit. Do you know what I mean? We finished top 4 and knocked the invincible Arsenal out of the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Don't compare us. Before I take it to you, Clutch, with the same question, I will also say, if we worry about between Liverpool and Man City who's going to win the Champions League, if we win the Champions League, we would only be the second ever team in history. Well, I guess in history since it was called the Champions League, to win the Champions League back-to-back. Obviously, there was many back-to-back winners back in the day, like Real Madrid, previously Ajax. I think Villa and Middlesbrough won it. Not Middlesbrough. Not Nottingham Forest won it back-to-back. Liverpool won it back-to-back. But anyway, in terms of since it's called the Champions League, we would only be the second team to win it. So then we could, we would be the second greatest team in all of Europe. So then we can shit on all of those. But Clutch, just quickly, same opinions as the boys, or would you prefer City to win the Champions League? Just so it's not another one that, or would you prefer Liverpool to win the Champions League just so City don't get one?
No, I agree with everyone. I think, especially for the reason that you brought up, that's what I was going to say. If Pep gets him a Champions League, I don't know how much longer he's going to stay because he's won everything he could for them. So, as long as if we can get rid of Pep in that way, I'd be more than happy to concede that over Liverpool. And the fans are just by far the most annoying. If you just look at the Carabao Cup win, that's just, it's hard to even go on Twitter after they win something because it's just, oh yeah, we have the best team. No, I'm done. I'm good. Give it to City over Liverpool.
Fair do. So I will say the one Liverpool fan that I do know well is actually not that much of a prick, and was like he said to me, he has no idea how that Lukaku goal didn't stand. So fair play to him at least. Let's go back to talking about Middlesbrough and just get this team that we would like to see done. So because I don't want to sit here for 3.5 hours, but we will discuss it because it's a big game, like we all agreed to a minute ago. Presumably, now let me quickly run through a couple of things from the press conference, just so I can actually talk about those. So what he did say, well, the night of the first leg in the quarterfinal, we played this. All right. Anyway, so basically he said we have a couple of doubts, which are still Reece James, which is Andreas Christensen, of course, who had to be subbed off in the last game. And who was the last one? Callum Hudson-Odoi. So everybody else, except from obviously Ben Chilwell, should be fit. Thomas Tuchel also said that he's somewhat surprised that he would be surprised if Ben Chilwell did actually join up with the England national team if he can't be fit for us tomorrow. Now, on the one hand, I would agree. On the other hand, I'm like, if he's called up and gets to play 20 minutes or half an hour in both of their games, if he's fit enough to do so, that can, if anything, get him match fit for when he's back for us. So if he's fit and there's almost like a conversation between Southgate and Tuchel or whatever that you won't start or won't play more than 30 minutes in any game.
He means James Pius. He doesn't mean Chilwell.
Oh, I was going to say, what?
Did I say Chilwell?
Yeah, you said Chilwell.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Of course, I
I was like, what? Is Chilwell coming back?
No.
Bro, you got me so excited for a
You got me
second. I hate
excited. I was
you.
like, what? I was like, I swear he's out.
Lewis, I
I didn't
hate
realise I
you.
misspoke.
I hate you, man. hate you.
I'm so sorry. No, Reece James, of course, Reece James. But
It's just
if it is Reece James, I wouldn't hate it if he's called up, if there is a limit of how much he plays, and that can get him match fit by the time we play with us. Because otherwise, if he doesn't get called up, but he would be fit for the 2 weeks. First game we play after international break, the situation is going to be like, he's not match fit. He hasn't played for 2 weeks. So, do you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe I'd rather him actually get. Although, do England play 1 or 2 games? I don't even know. But yeah, is there anything else big that was mentioned in the press conference? Oh yeah, he obviously ridiculed his links to Manchester United, which I'm a big fan of. Let me just find it here. There it is. Tuchel on links to Manchester United. I tweeted yesterday, I really hope they go for him, just so Tuchel can laugh in their silly ass faces. But he was asked, do you feel me less committed? He was asked about it. His response was, do you feel me less committed to the club in my situation? Absolutely not. I love to be here and work for Chelsea. It has everything it needs to make me happy. And also the reports from Germany are that his family's happy in London and, he's not even considering anything. And also, why would you? Maybe in a year's or two's time, the new owner could be a problem. But the first summer with the new owner won't be a bad thing anyway. So, why would you leave now? That's silly. But at least, I'm not a fan of Gary Neville in general. He does love a waffle. But at least he said something useful in some clip that I saw earlier when he was like, well, even he obviously doesn't think, why would Tuchel leave? If anything, them having a new owner will be a good time for them. Not bad time, at least to start with. But let's take it. And for once, when it's Premier League and Champions League, it's not much of a debate who's starting goal. But this time it kind of is, because obviously it's the Cup. Kepa usually plays every Cup game, aside from the Carabao Cup final, except the penalties when he skied it. But still, do you think it should and will be Kepa in goal tomorrow, Clutch?
No, I'm going to stick with Mendy. I think you got to keep the best in, especially right now.
Okay, fair. Con, Kepa or Mendy for you?
Mendy, bro.
Fair enough. Charlie?
I don't know. I mean, I'm to be honest, mate, I'm not that bothered either way. It's quarterfinal. It's a big game, but Kepa does seem to play all the games unless it seems to be the final. So I would expect it to be him. Would I go with him? Probably. But yeah, I mean, if Mendy plays, it's all good.
Fair. Pice, who would you pick?
I would pick Mendy, but I think Kepa's going to play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very convinced it will be Kepa. I personally probably still pick Kepa, and let me explain why. Obviously, I said it for the League Cup final, where if we were to want to keep Kepa, playing him in a game like that he will feel like he deserves to play because he got us there, is a thing we need to consider, because we shouldn't make players unhappy almost on purpose. But we're expecting to sell him in the summer, so with that, he's not really a player that we need to keep happy anymore. But if he doesn't play a game since the last round of the FA Cup until the summer when he sold, which unless Mendy gets injured, and fingers crossed, touch wood, he doesn't. If Kepa doesn't play a game until then, that would almost lower his value a little bit again compared to what it got to with the League Cup final and also his Carabao Cup semi-final performance. It could lower it again. So I think Kepa needs to also be given a chance. I think Kepa does well enough as I think what's super impressive about Kepa, and I'm not even saying that necessarily as a goalkeeper, which maybe tells you it should be Mendy and not Kepa, but being the most expensive goalkeeper in history and accepting his backup role as well as he did, always being supportive, always, whenever called upon, sure, he skied a pen, but in general, doing what he can and actually, getting his shit together compared to 2 years ago. I think that deserves so much credit. And it's also a big reason why we don't have dressing room problems. And even when Lukaku tried to cause them, it wasn't happening. For those reasons, I would pick Kepa. Obviously, 4 of you now have picked Mendy. I will write down both, but it is that over. But I think loyalty is an important thing, and it's an undervalued asset. And I think the reason why a lot of the players that used to play for us still like the club and still love the club and still are involved with the club in different capacities is because we show loyalty to players. And on those bases is why I think, that goes for everyone. We shouldn't just pick and choose when we want to be loyal and when we don't. So long that they show us loyalty, and that's what Kepa has done. So that's why I will pick Kepa. But here we are. The question is the back three, because Andreas Christensen, will it even be a back three? I would highly presume so, right? Obviously, if any of you disagree now when I ask you about the back three, please tell me. But now that Christensen is a doubt, we're kind of, unless Malang Sarr plays at centre-back, which I doubt, considering Rudiger got his rest against Newcastle. Thiago Silva, of course, played Wednesday and is flying out to Brazil, but he's also flying out to Brazil. Like, that's their problem to deal with then. Do you know what I mean? And whether he plays tomorrow or not, he never plays the first game after international break anyway. So if we don't play him tomorrow, he will miss the game before the international break, and like he has done with every international break, every game after international break since joining Chelsea, we'll miss that one too. So because he'll miss that one anyway, I think we'll just play him in this one. With that said then, for me, it's the same back three we started with that we finished the game against Lille with. That's what I go. And I would pick a back three, if I'm being totally honest, just because with the atmosphere that I do expect at Middlesbrough, our fans not being there as well. Because in a cup game, people think, away fans doesn't really make that much difference. If you have 5,000 people in an away ground, that will make a difference and can certainly make it feel like, to some extent, at least a 50-50 game rather than a proper away game. But now that it's a few hundred, it will feel like a proper bad away game. So, I don't want us to, take unnecessary risks that I really don't need. Charlie, why don't I start with you? Is a back three also what you'd go for? And if it is a back three, is it also that back three? Because, Christensen, let's presume he's out. So then the only other option really is Malang Sarr.
Yeah, it's for me, it's 100% going to be a back three. It's an important game. It's away from home. It's going to be tough. It's the tried and tested when we get to big games. So for me, 100% a back three. And those are the three I'd go with exactly. Christensen, obviously, as you said, I don't know, there's an update on him, but with a quick turnaround from Lille to this one, I'd be surprised if he played. With an international break coming up, the likes of Chalobah, who's is not going anywhere. So doesn't really matter if he plays. Silva and Rudiger, are two best defenders. So yeah, that's the back three for me. Yes, you could argue for Malang Sarr potentially, but instead of Chalobah, but otherwise for me, yeah, I'd go. That's my back three. It's the best three we've got available to us, and we have to use it.
I do. No, I agree. Obviously, in the private chat here, more discussions that even Real Madrid themselves saying they will play the second leg at the Bernabeu. Let's see, I guess, more political drama surrounding Chelsea. But this time, I guess we don't have as much to do with it. It's more like between Madrid, UEFA, and the Spanish authorities, I would presume. But, didn't mean to highlight that. Excuse me. Con, why don't I go to you? Is that the back three you'd pick as well? And would you pick a back three?
I'd probably pick a back three for this game because their confidence could be sky high. There's not going to be many of our fans there, so the atmosphere should be booming. So you want to go with the best back three you can go with. Christensen's still injured, I guess, yeah?
Well, he's a doubt at least. I just because we're not sure, I presume he's not there.
Fairs. Then, yeah, that's the back three I'd go for, bro.
There you go. Pice, would you agree?
Yeah, the beauty about this game is obviously we have the international break after, so we can go really as strong as we like. So yeah, I think this will be the back three.
There you go. Clutch, same thoughts?
Yeah, unfortunately, we gotta. I hate to say it like this, but I just think Chalobah needed a rest. The only potential thing you could do is throw Rudiger on the right and Sarr on the left, but I don't feel like doing that. So
you could do that. Like with Chalobah's recent form, how much of a drastic downgrade would that be? It is a reasonable shout. Did I say the right thing with Chalobah's reasonable form is what I meant to say? I hope it's the right thing.
Yeah, no, you said the right thing.
Anybody else?
In terms of being different, I'm going to put Rudiger on the right and Sarr on the left.
Okay. Now that we've said that, does anybody else want to potentially change their mind slightly with Chalobah's recent form?
I wouldn't be against it, to be fair. Yeah, okay. Why not? Why not? I'll go with that as well.
Obviously, I can't switch it round It's like, you know what I mean? So I will play Saar here, I'll put Saar down here, but obviously he would be on the left and Rudiger would be on the right. But Con, I saw Charlie shaking his head, so I don't need to ask him. But Con, would you consider it as well, or will you stick with what you had?
Stick with what I got, bro.
Fair dues. Clutch, I'll go back to you. Wing backs. Aspi and Alonso. Aspi and, Sol caught the Rona. So Aspi and Alonso? Or if Saar doesn't play as centre back, Saar wing back? Or does it just have to be Aspi and Alonso, I guess? Especially now that Callum is still a doubt as well. We can't even play him wing back.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other option. The only one, because Aspi's guaranteed on the right for me unless James is there. But that would change that. So James isn't going to be fit probably. So I'd have to go Alonso and Aspi, unfortunately for the Alonso part. But hey, maybe he can go play against the championship side. So that might be his more his style.
maybe to be fair. Charlie, you were shaking your head in terms of the back three, but is that the wing backs you would pick?
Yeah, 100%. Reece James, if he's going to feature at all, I'd imagine it'd be from the bench, and he could get some minutes with England as well, so that would be beneficial to his fitness, so he comes back fit after the break. And then left-hand side, Alonso, just by default, really, as you said, Southgate's got Corona. There's no Callum Hudson-Odoi either. He's still struggling a little bit. It has to be Alonso. And as Clutch said, maybe this might be more his level when he can put in a decent performance, because it was great in the cup final, shocking against Lille. So maybe if we're going with that pattern, he could be half decent tomorrow. We'll have to see.
Could be. To respond to Usain's comment in the chat, Reece is in training, but the fact that Tuchel called him a doubt makes me think he might be on the bench. But if anything, come on later on in the game, tops, but definitely won't start. Con, is that also the wing backs you would go for?
Yeah, bro. Can't keep rushing Reece back, even though he's going to England. It's kind of annoying, I can't lie. But yeah, two I'd go with, bro. I don't think we really have much of a choice.
Yeah, no, we really don't. That's is Kennedy a shout for anybody? He played in the last cup round at Luton.
As I say that, why not Malang Sarr as well? I mean, can't speak. How worse is he going forward than Alonso? If we're being completely honest, he's faster and better at defending. I'm, just putting that out there.
Yeah, I just feel my problem with Sarr at wingback is that he seems to, even when he's only played there in parts of games, for example, second half against Newcastle, he doesn't seem to trust himself to do anything. And Alonso might be bad, but at least he tries something. And when he tries something, it can come off. Sarr doesn't even try it, so it can't happen. That's my perspective on why I'm not a fan of Sarr. I'd rather Kennedy than Sarr at wingback.
I do not want to watch Alonso again at any possible case. I don't want to watch him. Please.
Okay. So would you pick Sarr or would you pick Kennedy?
Sarr for me, because he's naturally a defender. I don't want to watch Alonso. He's awful.
Is a wing-back a defender when we play a championship side?
Well, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I
would pick Kennedy, so now I have to write down three names here, which is a bit difficult. But hey, here we are. Let's write down three names, why don't we?
I would back Kennedy. I think I'd back him.
There you go.
Not defensively, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, but I mean, we played it against Luton. Luton are ahead of Middlesbrough in the table, are they not? So
I just don't think you can play both Sarr and Aspie. I don't think in any world, in the wingback world, that works. I think we would end up struggling more going forward than we'd ever do anything. Like, at least Alonso gives you something going forward. It's not much, but it's definitely going to be more. It's more than Sarr will ever give us.
Nah, I disagree.
The hard-working attempts to get...
Which game did we have the assist in recently?
Alonso is dog shit.
He is. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen in my life, but going forward, he's much better than Malang Sarr.
He probably is. Like I said, I will go for Kennedy. I mean, Luton is literally ahead of Middlesbrough in the league. So, and Kennedy was okay against Luton. So why wouldn't he play against Middlesbrough? That's my thinking. So that's why I'm going to pick Kennedy. Now that I've mentioned Kennedy, because I kind of initially forgot him as well, if I'm being totally honest, Charlie Con potentially change your Alonso shout or stick with it?
No, I'd stick. I think I'd probably stick with it. I can see if it's not going to be Alonso, then I think Kennedy's got a better shout than Malang Sarr at wing back. But for me, it's an important game. International break coming up. I'm not sure if Alonso has been picked for Spain or not. So, no. I mean, I think we might. I think we might as well just use him. He still probably is. If we're looking at overall stuff, he probably is still better than them in a whole aspect of the wing back than those two. But yeah, I'd stick with him. But if it's not going to be him, I think it's more chance of Kennedy than Sarr.
Fair. Con, you sticking to Alonso as well, or are you changing?
Nah, I'm sticking to Alonso, bro. Like, I know Kennedy's got a bit of pace, but that's all he's got. This guy's dusty footballer, bro.
It is kind of true. But like I said, he was okay against Luton, to be fair to him. But let's move on to the midfield. Now, Kante played the whole of the last game. No idea why and how. But that makes me hope that he will at least be rested here. Although, I think he would be much more useful against Middlesbrough than he was against Lille. Just because, you know, the way Middlesbrough will play, any sort of physicality we have, we could do with, if I'm being perfectly honest. Now, with that said, I will throw a slightly crazy one out there. But my midfield too, it's going to be Mateo Kovacic, guaranteed, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So Kovacic can go forward, Ruben can do the sitting part, especially if we play like, do you know what I mean, back three, especially if we have Alonso and Aspich, you know what I mean, we're fine. But just to get, because it's a championship side, they love a long ball. Ruben just has height, and that makes a big difference in winning second balls in midfield when they come bouncing around and flying up through the air. So that's why I'll pick Ruben. I'm not saying he's better than Jorginho. I'm not saying he's better than Kante. But neither Georgie nor Kante are in amazing form anyway. And he has the physical attribute above them. So that's why I'll pick him. And that will be my midfield too. Pice, I'll start with you on this one. What's your midfield too? Do you like my idea?
You know what? I do like your idea, actually, because Loftus-Cheek has shown in previous games that he can sit back. And I do agree with I've not watched too much of Middlesbrough, but based off what you're saying, it makes more sense.
Yeah, true. I haven't either. I'm just basing this, okay, they're a championship side. They've got to punt long balls, so maybe it's
no, it's I mean, you have a logic in it because, I mean, obviously, Jorginho, he could play, but he's been playing quite a bit. Kante, I don't know, the thing is with Kante is I gather he always starts for France, right, in any international game if he's fit. So I don't think starting him in this game makes much sense, to be honest with you. So, especially with his injury record and things. So I think this midfield is actually a shout. Maybe Saul will play, but I think Loftus-Cheek makes more sense, actually.
I do. I rate it. I'm always a big fan when people like my ideas. Charlie, do you like my idea, or would you have something different?
No, this is what I was going to go with. Obviously, Kovacic, for the obvious reasons. I think he's the like when we're picking midfield or just the team in general, he's, if not the first name, he's definitely one of them to go straight on the team sheet. Like, he has to play for me. Energy from midfield, links midfield and attack well, drives forward, etc. A really important component of the team. And then I think in this game, we say Kante's not been in great form recently. He was poor against Lille. And I agree that it would have been more beneficial for him to play in this game than it would have been against Lille. But, you know, it seems at the moment that if he's fit, he plays. But I would go with Ruben. I think Jorginho's not been in great form, even though he's found like a Cesc Fabregas range of passing in the last couple of games with 2 great assists. Overall performance has not been, you know, to the usual standards that we expect from him. And I think Ruben, when he's played recently, has done really well. And I think he deserves a chance from the start in this midfield role.
He was also man of the match in the last FA Cup game.
Yeah, and I think it's a good opportunity for him to play some minutes in his preferred position. You know, we always bang on about, look at how when Ziyech, when it was in a 3, wide on the right-hand side, I think he started playing good football. Pulisic getting a run at left wing, he's doing well. Ruben's just being passed around any old position, centre back in a back 3, right wing back. You know, let's play him in midfield and let's see how good this guy is. So I'm for it. That's what I go with.
Fair dues, Clutch. What's your midfield too?
Part of me is like, just go out there and play your 2 best midfielders because we got an international break. Kovacic is guaranteed for me. Ruben. You know what? We'll make you happy. We'll give you Ruben. I'm down. Let's try Ruben.
Nice. Very nice. Con, will you also make me happy, or will you be the one to ruin my mood?
You made me get up early today, bro. So no, I'm not picking Loftus. I'm joking, but I'm going with Jorginho and Cover in this game. I don't see the point of having Cover and Loftus in the same midfield. If Cover's there, he's more than good enough to, progress the ball. Like he can do it on his own.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't need
Ruben will be the
well.
one that sits if it was to be this.
I don't want him sitting, bro, because they're quite decent in transition, bro. I don't want Loftus Cheek there. I'm sorry, I don't, bro. I'd rather have Jorginho. I know people always ridicule Jorginho for his defensive side, but he's actually pretty good. People don't give him enough credit for it. So I'd want Jorginho playing. I wouldn't mind Loftus Cheek coming on at some point for Jorginho if the game needs that. But starting, I think that's just a bit, disrespectful towards Middlesbrough.
Is it? Again, look at our team we played against Luton, and Luton are ahead of Middlesbrough in the table. But hey,
no, I get that, bro. It's just because of Middlesbrough, they've knocked out Tottenham and they've knocked out United.
That is fair. Certainly something to consider. It's the whole Ruben with not wanting him to sit is. I understand everyone thinking that, and I personally think that too. That's not necessarily what I want him to do. But if Thomas Tuchel says his best position is a single six, which basically is like being the sitter of a two. If that's what Tuchel says, who am I to disagree with that? Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't seen him in an attacking position since his injury, really, right? Because under Frankie didn't really have the chance to play. Then he was loaned to Fulham. So the only situations we've seen him play is under Tuchel. And Tuchel has played him in midfield, either as a single six or part of a double pivot. Or right wing back or centre back. He hasn't played him further forward, so we all think he is still more attacking. But we don't know if that's still true. He was that under Sarri before his injury, but we don't know if that's still the same there. Because otherwise, why would Tuchel think his best position is sitting? I don't know, but that's why I'm going. I now planted that in my brain. That's what he is until Tuchel uses him differently, and I can make my own judgment on it. That's why I'm seeing him as that for the time being. But let's get to the front three, because the question is, does Lukaku start or not? Last time he started against Luton in the FA Cup, he scored, to be fair to him. Was pretty shit outside of that, to be fair. But hey, here we are. That's Romelu Lukaku for you. Also, can I be bothered to highlight it? Not really. But a report, I do need to find it in the chat because Clutch did send it this morning. Actually, a report by Nazar Kintella himself. But then shared by Absolute Chelsea. Shout out to them. Chelsea's Romelu Lukaku carries himself with the personality of a footballing superstar, with Thomas Tuchel finding the Belgians somewhat difficult to manage, also down to tactical problems. Now, obviously, Clutch's reaction to it was like, how bad must it be for Tuchel, who has managed Neymar and Mbappe? The Lukaku is said to be worse. Well, to be fair, the tweet doesn't say he's worse, to be fair. And Tuchel did kind of struggle with his Neymars and Mbappe. It's not like Pochettino, but Tuchel is obviously a good manager, unlike someone else. But yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens when you sign a £100 million player. He turns out to not be that good, and then you don't play him. Obviously, that's going to cause drama. I think Tuchel was well aware of that when he started dropping him. So with that said, that poses the question, does he start this one? Con, you finished the last one. I'll start with you, the first one. Does Lukaku start, and who's the other two in the front three for you?
He could well start, yeah. Then again, with all this going on with the club, I don't know if Tuchel would start him. I don't know. I'd probably be saying 100% he starts if we didn't have an international break next. But because we do, I've got a feeling Tuchel might just start his best team. So I'm not sure, but either Lukaku or Kai. It's going to be one of those, but I'm leaning more towards Kai.
Fair enough. And what about the other two then? When you say best front three, does that mean Pulisic Mason? Does it mean Pulisic Ziyech? Does it potentially mean Lukaku and Havertz and someone else?
I've opened up a new conversation entirely. I'd like to see Pully on the left again. I've been enjoying him lately. I'd like to see Ziyech. I think he deserves a game.
I will say, Mount was good when he came on last game.
No, he was for sure, but I just feel like Ziyech hasn't really had a lot of game time, and he's actually been in decent form, so I'd like to see him get some more minutes.
Fair dues. Clutch, I'll take it to you. What's the front three you would pick tomorrow?
For me, I'm picking the strongest lineup I can, so it'd be Havertz, Pulisic, and this formation, probably Mount. Even though I do agree that Ziyech does need a go because he was in good form, but yeah, I'm going to go Mount.
Fair dues. John, let me take it to you. What's the front three you'd pick yourself tomorrow?
I think, as you said, we've got international break after this. It's an opportunity to play our strongest team. Personally, I would play Kai Havertz as the number 9, but I honestly feel that Lukaku is almost nailed on to start this game. That's what I think Tuchel will do. But for me personally, I'll probably have Havertz through the centre. Pulisic, who, again, I think is one of those players that's in great form at the moment. And I think he's a bit of a confidence player, like a lot of players. So if he's in good form, just keep playing him. So I think for me, he needs to play on the left-hand side. Right-hand side's interesting because, as Con said, Ziyech had been in good form, picked up that injury in the first leg against Lille, and then has struggled to get back into the side since. So, you could argue that he deserves the game. But then obviously Mount left out from the start last time because he went a bit more defensive. He come on, done really well. Great assist for Aspie. You could argue for either of them. So I'd say just Mount for me, but I'd have no problems if Ziyech played.
Fair. Absolutely fair. I keep mine to last. Pice, go on. What's your front three?
Mine would be Pulisic, Ziyech, and Lukaku. I think Havertz has played a lot lately. And Lukaku hasn't got called up for the Belgium squad. And obviously, Havertz has for the Germany squad. To be fair, I don't think Hazard.
I didn't even know that. That's too funny.
Yeah, I don't think he's been called up. So I think this is a game to start him, honestly. Like, it's a cup game. It's still a difficult team, to be honest. They're not going to be terrible. So, yeah, I think that'd be my front three, to be honest. Give Lukaku a game and hopefully get some confidence in him.
Fair enough. Shenza, if I ever do merch, that will be my first piece of merch where I print that on my chest, like Werner Agenda Panel. That's what we're going to do because I back that. No problem at all with you calling me that. Yeah. I don't know. If Kai is somewhat fit...
Like you can't play... I'm sorry, guys. You can't just play Havertz every single game. He's going to get injured.
No, not every single game, but...
Like every time it's a lineup, everyone picks Havertz, but like he's going to get injured if he keeps playing,
Why?
Because he just will. That's what happens. You
Really
can't just play like...
game.
Yeah, I know, but I have a feeling he's going to get injured because he's so high intense player. He's everywhere, every single game. Like, it's like Kante for me, man. Like, you can't just play him every single game, in my opinion, anyway. Lukaku has to start this game.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, and I would agree if it was an international break right now, straight after. If we had like a different, like, I don't know, Champions League game, whatever, on Wednesday.
But he's also going to play a lot for Germany, right? He's like one of the main guys.
Who knows?
He always plays for Germany.
Could be. You'd say the same about Pulisic, though, because he's got 3 games and not 2.
Yeah, but
with Pulisic, the small difference is Pulisic won't play the game after the international break anyway, just like Thiago Silva because of travel. So,
and also the other option's probably Werner, or you stick Mount on the other side. I mean,
Werner, Lukaku, tomatoes.
I don't know.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Like, I am also debating it just for Kai, but I think I will still pick Kai, but sub him off after an hour. Ideally, once we're like 1 or 2-0 up. So I won't let him play the whole 90, but I will still start him. Pulisic on the left, not a debate to be had for me, and I will pick Mason Mount over Ziyech, just because I think Mason Mount is more suited to a rough FA Cup tie. Not because I think he's better than Ziyech, not because whether I think that or not has nothing to do with that, essentially. And also not because I don't think Ziyech deserves it, because I do think he does deserve a game, but I just think Mount is more suited to that kind of game than I'm expecting it to be. That's why I'll pick Mount. But obviously, each their own, I guess. Viewers are being weird today. We dropped down to like 19, now we're back to 130. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, titling was a bit dodgy there. Could have done another stream, but decided against it. But we're essentially done with this. The only thing that I still got to ask you guys is your score prediction. Pice, you just finished it off there. Why don't you go first on the score prediction? What do you think?
To be honest with you, I don't actually know because I mean Middlesbrough. I'm just going to even check what formation do they usually play. Don't even know. It's Chris Wilder's the manager, right? So
He
that's
is.
actually it's going to
Do
be a
they have
tough
overlapping wing
three at
backs?
the
Who
back.
knows?
Yeah, three
Overlapping
at the
centre
back.
backs, I mean.
They usually play a 3-5-2, so I don't think there's going to be too many goals in it. I think 2-0 Chelsea. I'm going to go for 2-0.
What matters most is don't take it to extra time because, like, the extra time penalties with the away ground, with the atmosphere that it will be, just make sure we get it done in 90. Clutch. Score prediction?
What did Pine say?
2-0.
3-0.
Okay. Charlie?
I think it's going to be a bit closer. Middlesbrough are going to be bang up for it, taking some big scalps. Not many fans for us in the ground. I think we'll get the job done. I think they'll score though. I'm going to go with a narrow 2-1 win for us.
There you go. Con, I made you wake up early. I let you go last. Finish it. What do you think?
I'm going to go 5-0 Chelsea up the Chelsea.
Come on.
5-0. That would be a nuts game.
Hey, Con, you should put a tenner on that because if it comes true, do well for you. I would actually agree with Charlie. I mean, I said 2-1 for Lille. That was true. So maybe if I say 2-1 again, we'll just win. So that's good. So I'll say 2-1 as well. Let me just see if that was something important. Penny McNair centre back. Come on. Penny McNair. There you go. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in today. Obviously, there was a lot of people here earlier when we was doing the Champions League draw. Chelsea against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. Let's see, I guess, whether we will play the second leg at Stamford Bridge or the second leg at Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid. I guess that's not certain yet, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, big day, big day tomorrow because it could be another semi-final for us. Hopefully another semi-final on the road to a final that we then don't lose, because if you told me right now we're going to lose the final, I'd rather lose tomorrow. No, actually, with this Middlesbrough drama, maybe not. But maybe I would still, because the semi-final is also at Wembley. I don't know. But I definitely don't want to lose another final. So if you told me now we're losing the final, I'd rather not even make the final. But no one's telling me we're going to lose the final. So let's get the job done. Make the semi-finals. Let's make the final. And let's make sure we win that trophy. Unless we've qualified for the Champions League final by then lose the FA Cup final and just win the Champions League again. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you very, very much. Subscribe to Charlie. Check out the Twitter accounts of Pice, Clutch, and Con. Links are down in the description. And of course, check out Pice's website, Chelsea365. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And yeah, it's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I'll see you next time.